Sometimes life can throw at us so many things. You find stress at work, stress at home, stress on the roadside, stress even when having a phone call or when you're hanging out. It's just so much stress. Welcome to Intentional Living with Sarah, where I help you discover your true self and share different tips on how to do life better. When you find yourself unable to cope with the normal stresses of life, to live life in a much more productive way, to live life in a much more meaningful way, it could be that you are getting into a state that is really stressful, really depressing, and this could lead to a mental breakdown. And today I share 5 red flags of 5 things that you should look out for that could be screaming depressions, screaming a mental breakdown that you should look out for and actually address. It's okay to go through a phase of sadness. If you are going through a very tough time, you have lost someone or a relationship that you really valued or thought would get to a certain direction has collapsed or failed. Yes, it's normal for you to go through the process of grieving, to go through the process of stress. But when you find yourself stretching beyond 2 weeks, then that could be heading somewhere. You could be getting into a mental breakdown. The kind of sadness I'm referring to is the sadness that is heavier than the normal sadness. Like I said earlier, sadness is normal. I mean, there's a time for everything, a time to weep and a time to laugh. But when you find that just a breakup is taking a month, you're still thinking about it, you're still processing it, you're still not over it, maybe a loss that has occurred to you that is not supposed to take more than a specific time is prolonged, then your mind is taking a turn to a direction that is not normal. You are probably getting depressed or you're having a mental breakdown. And I suggest if you know someone who is going through prolonged sadness, prolonged depression, prolonged those negative feelings that linger on for a much longer time than they're expected to be, then you should have a conversation with them or refer them to a psychiatrist or a counselor, someone who can help them vent out whatever is in them. One of the things that we usually ignore is extreme anger outbursts, those extremes of expression that could actually be signs that someone is depressed. Yes, we could say that person is always like that, or for me, I express myself like that. But when you just find yourself out of the blue screaming out loud just because you misplaced your pen, and yet the day has been going on well, or you haven't had a fight with someone, your mind is actually telling you there is a lot of stuff that you have bottled in and you need to express it, you need to vent it out. And this could be breaking you down. You know, things to do with mental health, things to do with depression do not many of the times come out in the physical. Just like when you see someone dressed in blue or yellow, you can actually see that they're putting on yellow or they're putting on blue. But with the mind, with mental health, it begins to work you out on the inside, and eventually after eating you up, it comes out. And by the time it's coming out, it's really too much and you need to get help. You need to address it. And what I'm saying is when you find yourself having extreme anger outbursts out of the blue, you're so angry, you don't know why you're angry, but you're so angry, and you look at the reason as to why you're angry. Maybe you just can't find your car keys and you're extremely angry. Then that anger is telling you there is much more anger that has been piling inside you and you need to let it out. Sometimes you find that just a small incident, just very small thing, your child is probably you have called your child and your child is not responding, and you walk up to them and give them a very hot slap, or you give them a thorough beating, and there's just too much. As you're trying to maybe spank them, you're putting in a lot of energy. Just know right there, inside. There's too much that's going on that is not connected to that child, and you're just channeling all the anger towards that child. So when you find that such things are happening to you, I suggest you take a break off all that concerns you, maybe work or the space that you're in, and go and get help. Sometimes we find ourselves worrying too much. You worry about so much beyond what you are supposed to be worried about. Just the fact that you have a little money on you, not that it's the first time for you to have a little money on you, you worry. Or someone says a word, or they just mention something, and you begin to think about it. You create so much out of it, and you push yourself in a direction that you even thought you wouldn't go. You know that the mind is a very powerful tool, and you can cultivate so much with your mind. Now, someone who is breaking down mentally, someone who is depressed, will worry too much. You wake up in the night and you're really worried. You're worried about your workplace. You're worried about your business. The worry is not like the usual worry. It's not that it's you must be asking yourself, is it bad to worry? It's not that it's bad to worry, but you don't have to. When you find yourself worrying too much, just the fact that your friend didn't call you, you worry, you begin to think, your mind goes so far. You think the relationship has ended. You think that, you begin to create episode upon episode upon episode. A few things are not working out in your life, and you are worried that you're going to turn out a failure. You are worried that, you just worry beyond, and it's like you are running the entire country, and yet it's just your life. That is a red flag. That is actually trying to communicate that there is a lot in you, maybe a trauma or certain events in your life that you haven't fully dealt with, that are piling and causing you to worry. In fact, sometimes you find the person staring in blank space. You're at work, you're probably typing a letter that your supervisor needs in maybe 10 minutes, and usually in 5 minutes you're done. But your finger is stuck on one specific letter on the keyboard, and you are just staring. You are staring. You don't know why you are staring, but you're just staring. And as you stare, your mind is thinking about so many things that are not even related with what you are typing. Just know there you need to get help. You need to get checked out. If you have someone who usually has those experiences of too much worry, please talk to them and get them some help. As human beings, interactions are one of the things that keep us alive. Recently, or last year, when there was a total lockdown, so many people felt really bottled up because we didn't have access to friends, we didn't have access to family. You just couldn't walk out and just have a chat with a friend. Some of those things actually are good for your soul. They make life better. Now, when you find yourself isolating yourself in self-isolation, not that you are going through a quarantine, no, you're just isolating yourself, withdrawing yourself, then you must be having a mental breakdown, or you're getting yourself into depression. And especially when you have been a very outgoing person, and you like Friday is the day that you're looking forward to, or your friends, you have friends that you spend time with, not that you spend time, you spend a lot of time doing irrelevant things, but you just enjoy their company. Now, when the switch, when you flip the switch, when everything goes upside down, you don't want to associate with them, you don't want to pick their phone calls. When they come visit you, you just shut the curtains and the doors, and you act like you're not around, even when you can hear them outside. Then you must be getting depressed. You must be feeling or going through something that is taking you into a state that you can't handle, and you need help. It's not normal for you to have 5 weeks of self-isolation, unless maybe you're seeking God or you're discovering yourself. But you must, that is a red flag. when you resolve and say, from now onwards, I'm not going to talk to anyone, I will not text anyone, I will not be on social media, I will not hang out with anyone, I just want to go to work, just because you need the money, and come back home. Even when you get home, you go straight to the bathroom, take a shower, and go to bed. You are dealing with something that could be bigger than what you can handle, and you need help. And lastly, change of routine, yes, can be a red flag that shows that you are having a mental breakdown or you are getting into depression. What kind of change of routine am I referring to? If you are someone, you find that you are either sleeping too much or too little, or you're eating too much or too little, something that is out of your ordinary routine. I mean, you could be someone who snacks. You snack, but this time round you are snacking too much. Now that means that you are trying to get comfort from the food. You're trying to get comfort from the sleep, instead of saying, let me actually face this. You say, let me sleep it off. You sleep. In fact, you get pills and sleeping pills in order for you to really sleep, to sleep for long hours. You don't really care about the next thing that is supposed to be happening. All you want to do is sleep, 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 and all you want to do is eat, eat, eat. And the reverse also is true. Someone may deprive themselves of sleep. They always find something to do so that they don't sleep. You concentrate on something that is even not adding any value to you, just because you don't want to sleep. Or you find yourself denying your body food. You don't want to eat, and yet some of the things that are given to you are the things that you actually like, but you just say, I don't want, I don't want, I don't want. That shows that there's something that you're dealing with, and you need to let it out. Now that I've shared a few things that indicate that you're going through a mental breakdown or depression, I know that some of these things could be speaking to you, or they could be speaking about someone you know, a friend, a spouse, or a workmate. The first thing that you need to do is actually talk to them and give them the comfort they need. Some of these people just need a hug. They need a hug, or they need an expression of love. Send them a nice gift, or write some really nice words that show that you care about them and you're thinking about them, or take them on an activity that is going to change their perspective towards that. And secondly, you can recommend that they see a psychologist or someone who is much more experienced in life to guide them through these situations. Sometimes you could have also faced a certain situation or a challenge that they are going through, and you actually went through it successfully, so you can walk the journey with them and pull them out of that state of the breakdown, pull them that state of depression. Well, that's what I had for you today. In case you have not yet subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and drop me a comment. Let me know how this video helped you. Have a good day.